So, oh man, I should edit that out, but I'm not going to. Sometimes I have more fun with these things than I should. And guys, there's so much seriousness going around right now, and we're done with the season, and now we're in the playoffs, and we got a playoff game this afternoon, and all of the NFC North is out. What's going to happen with head coach? I decided to have a little bit of fun and do a speculative video. I do not expect this to be right, okay? So those who are going to try to hold me to this one, don't, because this is pure speculation. But I am looking forward to March 13th more than any other date now. This week, sometime soon, the Bears. I can take these off now that the music is gone. Now that the Lions are out, I mean, there should be a relatively quick head coach search, unless we want to interview Joe Brady and Todd Monken and drag it out because, you know, they potentially could be ahead of Ben Johnson. We'll see. I don't know. I have no clue. Nobody has a clue how fast this thing will move. But I wanted to do a speculative video for once. I don't do them very often. I do a lot of factual stuff. So I want to do a speculative video on where each of the quarterbacks on this year's quarterback carousel could end up. So here's where we stand in the AFC. Man, I got to go a little smaller. Boom. Oh, I'm right here, guys. We'll have fun with this one. So let me kind of point everything out. Here's the AFC, then I'll do the NFC. Here's the North, East, South, and West. And I kind of highlighted where these quarterback gaps are going to be, where they might be filling in with someone. These are right here where the pointer is. Those years are how long these quarterbacks are signed through. So Lamar Jackson signed through 2027, Joe Burrow through 2029, Josh Allen through 2028. So obviously these ones on the left, these are the starters. On the right, these are the backups or quarterbacks. I put Deshaun Watson. They restructured his contract, but I don't think they have any intention of keeping him as a long-term option. So they restructured it just to try to drag this thing out and make it so they can survive through 2026. I think they fully intend to bring in a different quarterback this year. Then you got places like the Dolphins where they need a new backup. But here's all the former backups, all the free agents. And I kind of highlighted the biggest names in green. But you can see over there, Tyler Huntley was the backup for the Dolphins. Probably likely to be the backup this next coming year. But Rodgers probably on his way out of the Jets. Justin Fields possibly on his way out with Pittsburgh. There's rumors that he could be restructuring a 3-year, not restructuring, but working on a 3-year contract with Pittsburgh. But would they get rid of Russ? Would he want to stay a backup to Russ? Who knows? Sam Darnold really kicked himself with those last couple of games, last 3 or 4 games of the season into the playoffs. Will they extend him now, or will they stick with J.J. McCarthy? They brought Daniel Jones in, most likely wanting to use him as a backup, as a security option to J.J. McCarthy. And I think Daniel Jones would be very good with that role because, I mean, where's he going to get a starter job outside of that? So if he takes a spot where, hey, J.J. McCarthy's not proven, I could work my way in by being behind J.J. And if J.J. has hiccups or doesn't come around as a rookie, they can start me. You got Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Desmond Ridder. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks. And this is not a strong quarterback class in the draft. So over here on the draft, you see I put Cam Ward, Shadir Sanders, probably going to start wherever they go. I mean, likely 99.9% going to start wherever they go. Jalen Milroe, I think, is a reach. I think he possibly could be drafted in the first round, but probably to a team late that wants to develop a quarterback, a Jordan Love type of situation. Then you got Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel, Kyle McCord, Riley Leonard. Not necessarily in that order, but all of these guys should be 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks that will be backups that can potentially develop. So that's how I lined this thing out. There's the AFC. Here's the NFC. Not a lot of changes for the NFC North. You can see maybe the Vikings want another one behind Daniel Jones, possibly. The East, I mean, most of the starts, I didn't put green there. Sorry for the Saints. They're going to need a new one. And some of this is speculative. The Falcons getting rid of Kirk Cousins is speculative. The Saints getting rid of Derek Carr is speculative. I mean, some of those things are pretty much foregone conclusions. We'll see what happens there. So let's just roll through each of these divisions. We'll go through there, and I'll give my opinion on what I think will happen, my speculation. This is a purely speculative video, guys, so this is not meant to be serious, not meant to hold me to it. But here's the AFC North. You can see the holes I filled here with the ones that they need to fill, and this is the free agents from them from before. We'll just roll through it kind of quick with my speculation on these things. And I have it laying out like this. So with the Ravens, they're going to sign Jameis Winston to be a backup to Lamar Jackson. It just makes a lot of sense to me. with their same style of play and same build. Russell Wilson re-signs with the Steelers. And Jalen Milroe, I put as a draft pick for them to draft and develop behind him. Joe Burrow and Jake Browning, nothing changes there. And I got the Browns signing Sam Darnold with Deshaun Watson and Dorian Thompson-Robinson behind him. I think Sam Darnold hurt himself a little bit, and this is the type of bridge quarterback the Browns need. Not necessarily bridge. They might see him as the future and give him a 3-year, $100 million contract where the Vikings are more ready to move on from him. And decent head coach there still with Stefanski, so I think it's a good fit for both of them. So that's where I have Sam Darnold going. So as I go through these guys, if you guys don't mind commenting in the chat or in the comments what you think is realistic and not, where you would like to see players go, because nobody knows. This is all speculation. So put where you would like players to go, because this kind of enlightens where the holes are in the NFL and where players would be needed. And then we can see where they go from there. I think the Patriots are a foregone conclusion there with Drake May and Joe Milton. That's kind of an easy-peasy one. No change will happen there. I'm not going to go into third stringers if they don't already have one. I'll list a third stringer here if they already have them. This is third string guys. But I'm not going to go into speculation. And there's plenty of guys that will be third. And a lot of these guys. Mason Rudolph, Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, Mac Jones. A lot of these guys will get signed somewhere as the third quarterback to compete. I'm just not going to go that deep into this one. So here's the AFC. Tyler Huntley was with Miami. Aaron Rodgers was with the Jets. Jacoby Brissett was with New England. He could easily just re-sign there. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go into third stringers. And here's where I have it falling out for these guys. And then I crossed them off, you see, as I assign them to teams. I got Tyler Huntley coming back to Miami. If it's not broke, don't fix it type of situation. And then Cam Ward being drafted by the Jets. I know it's not realistic, guys. I got the Jets trading up to number 1 and the Titans falling back because they sign a free agent. You'll see that later on. It's not realistic. I'm going to tell you it's probably 99% not going to happen this way. But I just think it would be kind of fun to make a speculation of that happening. So this one's probably the least realistic one, but it's just kind of fun to play it out that way. All right, AFC South, we got a couple holes here. We got the Titans. We got the Jaguars backup, and you can see who was at these places before. Case Keenum was the third stringer. Joe Flacco was the backup in Indy. Sam Ellinger was with Indy. Mac Jones with Jacksonville. C.J. Beathard as well. Mason Rudolph with Tennessee, the third stringer, but I'm not going to do the third stringers. So let's jump right into who I put as the Titans' new QB1, and I got Aaron Rodgers going to the Titans. I just think it would be funny to have them roll that direction, be able to pick him up and not play the quarterback carousel, have them trade back to be able to pick up more draft capital, kind of like the Bears did a couple years ago when they had the number 1 pick, and roll that way. I got Derek Carr signing as the backup in Indianapolis. I think it's a great spot for one of the higher profiles quarterbacks that want to revitalize their career if Anthony Richardson doesn't pan out, but he's only on the year 3 of his contract, so I don't think they're going away from him. But there is turmoil in that locker room. You got people within Indianapolis that his own teammates are having doubts with him. So, who knows what will happen there. And then I got Jackson Dart as I really like this one a lot, with the Jaguars being picked up in the third-ish round for the Jaguars to back up behind Trevor Lawrence. And I think that's a really great place for him to develop, and I think he could do a really good job there. So I kind of like that one. All right. Move on to the AFC South. We got a couple holes here, but you got a couple things that worked out. Here's the guys from before. Carson Wentz was the backup in Kansas City. Taylor Heineke, Easton Stick with the Chargers. Desmond Ridder with the Raiders. I don't believe that's the way they're going to move forward in the future. But Zach Wilson and Garrett Stidham as the backups with the Broncos. The Broncos found their QB1 with Bo Nix. So, I already filled in there. Oops, I did a spoiler on this one. My bad. You can see at the top who I put in different spots, but we'll put the pictures up. My bad. So anyways, got Will Howard being drafted as a backup to Pat Mahomes, and I really like that one as well. Riley Leonard, I don't know the perfect spot for him, but I think he's a good backup for Justin Herbert. I think that would be a good spot for him to be picked to develop as well. And these guys will be picking some backups somewhere later in the draft to be able to do that. I got Desmond Ridder going to interdivision with Bo Nix to back up behind him. And then I got Justin Fields going to the Raiders. There's a little bit of buzz with that going on, that they would offer him somewhere around like a three-ish year contract, maybe $40-50 million as a bridge quarterback. Some think Gardner Minshew could already be that bridge quarterback. He's already shown he's not really starter quality. Justin showed in Pittsburgh this last year that he has potential. And if the Raiders go with someone, if they don't get Ben Johnson and they go the cheap option and goes with someone like Arthur Smith would be really excited to work with Justin Fields. I don't necessarily think Arthur Smith is getting a head coaching job this offseason. But if he does end up going somewhere like that, because the Raiders are paying 3 prior coaches right now $30 million. If they go with a cheaper option like Arthur Smith, good fit to bring those two together. All speculation. Again, I'm going to reiterate that. All speculation on this video. So just fun to tinker around with this. All right, let's move to the NFC. Here's the North. No changes here. Teddy Bridgewater back up in Detroit. Nick Mullins back up in Minnesota. Sam Darnold I got moving on from Minnesota. So no changes here. I'm not going to speculate on a third stringer for the Vikings. So this is what it is. Nothing's going to change in this division as far as the priority there. And I do think the one speculation, J.J. McCarthy will be starting for him next year. Daniel Jones will be the backup for them. So move on to the NFC East, where there's a lot more changes. The Giants are without quarterback right now, and you can see the changes there. They have all 3 of them, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, and Tim Boyle, all ending their contracts. Dallas has quite a few that are losing their contracts, Trey Lance, Will Grier, and Cooper Rush. I do think they stick with Dak Prescott. A lot of rumors that possibly they could trade him away. Mostly that's around the nonsense of Deion Sanders. I don't think that's going to happen, but I've been wrong before. Nothing going to change with the Eagles. Eagles are pretty set with their core right there, and then the Commanders clearly found their QB1. They won't be moving off Jaden Daniels anytime soon. So Marcus Mariota was the backup with the Commanders. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that's what I have going on there. I got Marcus Mariota staying. I got the Cowboys drafting Quinn Ewers, the boy out of Texas, though. It'd be kind of fun for him to stay in the state of Texas and be able to back up Dak Prescott, see if they can develop him. I think that's a good fit there. And then I got Shedeur Sanders going to the New York Giants. Whether that happens or not, I have no clue. But we'll see after free agency. That's why I'm getting excited for March 13th. It's going to be fun to see what the Bears do, see where all this quarterback carousel goes as well. All right, NFC East, a few changes here. You have Derek Carr right now as the Saints quarterback, but I do believe that will change. Kirk Cousins, same thing with the Falcons, so I have that changing. I already slid over Michael Penix to be the starter there because he took over at the end of the year. Bryce Young has revitalized himself. He's there as QB1, so I don't think that'll change, and Baker Mayfield's under contract through 2026. So these guys are pretty set and solid with their starters, but the changes I have, I got Kyle Trask going to back up. Again, in Tampa Bay, if it's not broke, don't fix it type of thing. I got Josh Dobbs coming over from San Francisco to the Falcons as the backup for Michael Penix. Emory Jones is still there, but I don't think that's any kind of option for the future. I got Jimmy Garoppolo going from the Rams all the way over to Carolina to back up Bryce Young. I think that's a good fit. And then Kirk Cousins I got going to the Saints. He'll be on a cheap contract, and the Saints and their salary cap hell that they're in. That's the biggest reason that I did that one. The Saints are absolutely in trouble with their salary cap. They've got to do a lot of things to fix it. If Kirk gets cut by the Falcons, he's going to be on a cheap contract, basically a league minimum contract by whoever picks him up. So the Saints will do whatever it takes to say, hey, Kirk, we got a good opportunity here. Come be the quarterback here. We'll do this for you in the future. We'll figure something out for the future. We'll make it worth your time here. But we want you to come quarterback the Saints, and I think that would be a good fit for both of those teams as well. Maybe not for the Saints with Kirk's interceptions. But salary cap-wise, he's not a bad quarterback either. He's just had a down year. We'll see if we can milk some out of him at the end of twilight of his career and see what they can do. Who knows? But I think that's a good possibility of where he could end up. All right. What do I got here? All right, I had the wrong logos up there. I had to change that real quick. I had the NFC East and the wrong logos. We got it figured out, though. Don't worry about it. So nothing much changing in the NFC West. We got Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy. Some rumors about Geno Smith possibly having to restructure his contract, maybe them wanting to bring someone in, but I think they did that last year with Sam Howell. They could very easily move on from one of these situations with all those contracts ending, but I think they run it with him one more year and just see what they've got there. We'll see. Same thing with Brock Purdy. Lots of rumors there of what they could do. I think more prudent situation there is just to draft someone behind Brock Purdy to see what they work out there. Matthew Stafford's not going anywhere. Kyler Murray's not going anywhere. So what I got going on here, Dylan Gabriel getting drafted to back up Brock Purdy. Good option there from Oregon. And then Kyle McCord coming in for the Rams to be a backup. I know I'm not doing third stringers, but I think that's a good spot for him to learn behind Matthew Stafford, so that's really good. I'm not going to switch anything up here. I think Geno gets one more year, and then they'll address that next year in the 2026 draft. So over there on the right, you can see all the circled ones of guys who did not get taken somewhere, and all these guys are there's other ones too, Joe Flacco, Case Keenum. But I'm saying for all those third stringers, they'll have a shot somewhere to be able to come in on a roster and be able to, compete for a job, to be able to have a shot somewhere. So Zach Wilson, Garrett Stidham, Taylor Heineke, Mason Rudolph, maybe even, a third stringer in Denver as well. Maybe a second, third stringer. Maybe both of them get signed back. Who knows? But that's kind of a fun little thing just to see the quarterback carousel and where things could end up. Purely speculation, baby. But let me know what you guys think. Kind of fun. Enjoy you guys tuning in. Sorry, this one's not the informative one, but we'll see where these quarterbacks all head off. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that. Enjoy the games today. National championship tomorrow. We'll have stuff as it breaks for the Bears and their new head coach and the press conference when it happens. Always appreciate being a part of this community. Till next time, the Bears, and bear down.